Well, there are anti-Semitic attacks almost every day now in New York. CNN lists the incidents from just this past week that are being investigated as possible hate crimes. Monday, a 65-year-old man said he was punched and kicked near Manhattan by another man who was yelling, "F you, Jew," the New York Police Department said. Stephen George, 28, was arrested. It was not clear if he had an attorney. On the same day, a 67-year-old man in Brooklyn reported that a group of teenagers approached his 6-year-old son and another 7-year-old boy, striking them from behind. The victims were treated for minor injuries. Tuesday, a 25-year-old man in Brooklyn told police a group of people began yelling anti-Semitic slurs at him as he walked. One of them also threw their drink at him. Also in Brooklyn, CNN literally misspelled Brooklyn. A 56-year-old man said a group of people approached him and one of them punched him. Wednesday, on Christmas Day, a 40-year-old man dressed in traditional religious clothing walking home was approached by an individual who blocked his path. That individual allegedly punched the victim in the face when the man tried to let him pass. Thursday, a woman was charged with assault as a hate crime after she allegedly attacked a 34-year-old Jewish woman in front of her child. Ayanna Logan is accused of using her bag to hit the woman, NYPD said. Friday, Tiffany Harris, 30, was arrested and charged with harassment as a hate crime after she allegedly slapped 3 women in the head and face, police told CNN. Also on Friday, a black man walked into the Chabad Lubavitch World Headquarters and allegedly threatened to shoot and kill people in the center. Saturday, 5 people were injured when a man walked into a rabbi's home in the New York City suburb of Monsey and stabbed them, according to police. A suspect was apprehended. The Anti-Defamation League's CEO, Jonathan Greenblatt, said it was heart-wrenching to see the holiday of Hanukkah violated yet again following last week's hateful assaults. "We are outraged because the answer is clear. The Jewish community needs greater protection," Greenblatt tweeted. In light of these almost daily attacks, Orthodox Jewish leaders in New York just sent a letter to Governor Andrew Cuomo asking him to declare a state of emergency in New York. Dear Governor Cuomo, as you know, anti-Semitic hate crimes have grown to frighteningly high numbers over the past several months. During the past several days in particular, identifiably Orthodox Jews in and around areas we represent have been targeted with a rash of violence unseen in modern history. Orthodox Jews are being regularly assaulted, menaced, stabbed, and murdered in increasing numbers. This has been appropriately described as a slow-rolling pogrom. We are writing to ask that you declare a state of emergency and that you deploy the New York State Police and the New York National Guard to visibly patrol and protect Orthodox Jewish neighborhoods throughout our state. In addition, we are asking that you appoint a special prosecutor for purposes of investigating and prosecuting perpetrators of anti-Semitic violence, and that the special prosecutor immediately assume control of cases already under the jurisdiction of local district attorneys. Simply stated, it is no longer safe to be identifiably Orthodox in the state of New York. We cannot shop, walk down a street, send our children to school, or even worship in peace. We implore you to take the immediate action, as you are empowered to do, and send a clear message that the state of New York will protect its people. Sincerely, Simcha Felder, New York State Senator, Simcha Eichenstein, New York State Assemblyman, Chaim Deutsch, New York City Councilman, Kalman Yeager, New York City Councilman. Anti-Semitic attacks are increasing at an alarming rate in New York. And when I say anti-Semitic here, I obviously mean anti-Jewish. I know that there are other Semitic groups. When you see attacks like these increasing, you want to look at the trends. You don't just want to say, oh, there are more anti-Semitic attacks than last year. You want to say, there are more anti-Semitic attacks than last year, and if this pattern continues, what is next year going to be like? What's the year after that going to be like? And so on. You have to anticipate where the world is heading. If something doesn't change very quickly, daily attacks will suddenly become normal in New York City, a city that prides itself for its diversity. But where is the change going to come from? There are white supremacists who want to kill Jews. There are black Hebrew Israelites who want to kill Jews. There are Muslims who want to kill Jews. We have openly anti-Jewish members of Congress. I think that a lot of politicians and journalists and entertainers are more anti-Semitic than they realize. Why do I think this? Well, just imagine how differently politicians and journalists and entertainers would be reacting right now if it were Muslims who were being attacked daily in New York. There would be far, far more outrage. I can only conclude that many politicians and journalists and entertainers just aren't as bothered by anti-Jewish attacks. And if some of the biggest influencers in our society just aren't terribly bothered by anti-Jewish attacks, there are dark, dark days ahead.